It is 7:45. Do keep your comments coming in on the hashtag OTB AM if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or listening to us on the Go Loud app or on offtheball.com. We're delighted to have you, and do keep your comments coming in. With plenty coming up, but later on Gary Breen is going to talk football. Andy Dunn will be in the studio to talk all things rugby, so all that coming a little bit later on. But a very treat for you on this Friday morning. Right now, Jason Quigley, as we told you a little bit earlier on while you were sleeping, was adding another win to his belt.
For your winner by knockout, he's the fighting pride of County Donegal, Ireland, Jason Quigley!
Yeah, Jason Quigley, a 10-round super middleweight contest last night. The main event at Orange County Fair in Costa Mesa, California. Third-round knockout for Jason Quigley over Fernando Marin. And I'm delighted to say that, as you can see, Jason joins us on the line now. Good morning to you, Jason.
What's the crack, lads? How's things?
You're looking good. How are you feeling?
Hi, feeling very good. And what can I say? You know, it was a great night, and very happy to kick the year off now with a good victory, and a victory that I was pleased with myself, more importantly.
He didn't lay it loving you by the looks of things.
Yeah, I'm looking pretty clean, so I am. It's nice to come out of a fight, hands, everything good, face nice and clean, and you have plenty of energy to go out and have a bit of crack with all the fans and the family and friends and everyone that came over to watch.
Yeah, sort of 4 hours or so post-fight now. Just in terms of the fight itself then, I know obviously there was a change of opponent sort of last minute. You had spoken about your amateur background helping you in that regard, that you frequently wouldn't have had a lot of time necessarily to plan. Did it all go according to plan for you in terms of what Andy wanted to get out of the fight and what you wanted to get out of the fight?
Yeah, it actually did, and you know, to be honest, the replacement was, the record didn't show it, but the replacement was a tougher and a harder fight than the actual original opponent. So it was a little spanner thrown in the works, but as you say, you know, through my amateur background, World Championships, you're having 5 fights in 7 days. You don't know who you're fighting until you won one of your fights. So it's a great background to bring into the professional game for situations like that. But getting onto the fight with me and Andy, we had things that we planned on working on, and I was very happy with my performance. Andy was happy with my performance. There's still, of course, obviously not the finished article yet, but there's still things to be working on. But looking at the last fight, it was a third-round knockout as well, and looking at this fight, a third-round knockout, but 2 completely different class of performances in my eyes.
What are the things you're working on?
Just composing myself a little bit more, working on the jab, getting my shots and everything taken off the jab when I'm coming out of throwing combinations, coming out of clinches, coming out low, don't be coming out with my head held high and everything like that, you know, and just putting a wee bit more venom into my shots, putting a wee bit more venom into my attitude and everything like that there as well. It's all starting to blend together, and it's all starting to come into place now.
When you say they're 2 different class of performances, Jason, do you mean that stylistically?
Yeah, like after my last fight, I was delighted, don't get me wrong, to get a good victory and get the knockout, but see the next day, like I was like, I just wasn't happy with that. Like I'm very critical on myself, and I just wasn't happy because I know there's so much more in me. I know I'm such a far better fighter than what I showed in the ring that night, and tonight I'm a lot happier with the performance because I was a lot more controlled. I was a lot more, I think, aware of the situations that I was in. I was a lot more aware in terms of, like, I wasn't letting my mind get flogged with emotions and trying to get the guy out of there, getting overexcited, getting, you know, that kind of anxiousness out of me. I was a lot more settled. I was a lot more controlled, working on things, seeing things clearer in the ring, you know, slowing it down in my own eyes, and I was just a lot more happier overall with the performance. I think, to be honest, the performance was night and day from my last knockout to this one.
That's interesting. Like, how do you manage to do that? Because that would suggest to me that there's a huge element of control that needs to come into it, that you want to fight on emotion, you want to knock your opponent out, but you also want to maintain that control.
Trust me, I've been asking myself the same question for a while, so it's something that I had to control. You know, I was a very emotional fighter. Got very excited and wanted to please the fans, wanted to please everybody, wanted to knock the guy out of there as soon as possible and just get on to the next one. But this is the professional game. This is world championship boxing that I'm in. Do you know what I mean? And there's going to be fights where they're going to go the distance. There's going to be guys like tonight that had a very hard head, and you'll not just get them out of there with one shot. You know what I mean? And these are things that I have to learn to control. And you know, I've been doing different work with a lot of things, and I've spoke about it in recent interviews, which I think is going to be vital for this year, is momentum. I think that's something that is going to bring confidence. It's going to bring performances up. It's going to bring a little bit of everything to another level in my game. Keeping that momentum going, staying busy, staying active. Like, since the time I broke my hand against Glenn Tapia, that was my big coming out fight. That was the time that I was going to shine and bust onto the world scene and be just a fight or two away from the likes of Canelo in a world title fight. I broke my hand there. The performance didn't look great. I was out for a year, changed trainer, changed location. Things weren't gelling well. Things weren't going right. I still just wasn't content. I still wasn't in a nice flow, in a nice place. But now I'm getting there. Now I have kind of gone through that kind of a storm and that kind of a windy road, you could say, and I'm back here now with a good performance, starting to be happy in my own performance, starting to be happy in myself inside the ropes, and working very well with Andy.
How did you find the quick turnover between fights, Jason? Because I think it's probably your quickest turnover since your first two professional fights.
Yeah, I found it brilliant, you know, and that's something that I like to do. I like to stay busy. I like to stay active because I like being in the gym. I like looking well, being fit, being healthy, being in shape, everything like that. And, you know, every boxer will probably understand that whenever you don't have a fight coming up, it's always hard to get into the gym and to be in shape all the time. But I'm very lucky that I do enjoy the gym. I do enjoy eating well. And, you know, it paid off this Christmas. I was in the gym every day. You know, a big thanks to everyone back at home for the Finn Valley Leisure Centre and all the Rafo Boxing Club, that when I'm back at home, like Christmas Day, New Year's Day, whatever day it is, they're opening the doors for me, letting me come in, letting me train. And I stayed in shape over the Christmas holidays. I had a few nights out with my friends, family, the girlfriend, everything like that. It was brilliant. I had a big turkey dinner, but I was still in the gym every day, working hard, training hard. And it has all paid off.
Yeah, you got to make time for that stuff as well. Just when you talked, Jason, there a little bit earlier on about the almost shift, it seems, in mindset, that maturity almost that you have now in the ring to keep yourself calm and to not get too far ahead of yourself. What do you put that down to? Like, is there a maturity there that comes with age? Is it sort of post-Johnson? Is there an influence of Andy? Because you've touched on some other elements that you're working on as well. But what do you put, I suppose, that down to?
To be honest, it's a butterfly effect of everything. You know what I mean? It definitely is an effect. Like, everything that you mentioned there has a role to play in it. It's not just one thing that has happened that has completely changed. It has been a numerous amount of things that I have changed in my life, that I have changed in my career, and that has happened in my career. You know, the likes of moving closer to home, training in Dublin, training with the likes of Andy Lee, getting that momentum built up now, fighting, staying in camps regularly, no injuries, no cuts, no nothing like that keeping me out. All of that there is a momentum. All of that there is an effect of the mindset and the maturity that I'm developing right now. And you know what I mean? I have to say that the journey isn't always easy and it isn't always lovely, but thank God I'm starting to see some sunny days now ahead of me.
Yeah, you're 28 now, Jason. You're back into the top 15 WBC rankings. You've obviously a stated aim to be world champion at some stage. Owen has mentioned already about the busyness that's come into your schedule a bit more now than it might have done in 17 or 18. What's the plan?
The plan now is to stay active. I want to have 5 fights this year, at least 4 fights. So I have the first time now in my career I've kicked the year off in January with a great victory. So it's a matter of now staying busy. I've had great talks. After my last fight in December, I had a great talk with Robert Diaz and Golden Boy and everything like that there. And we set out a brilliant plan in place now for this year coming. And then after that victory tonight, we had Eric Gomez right up to the ringside with me after the fight, telling me about big plans that they have now ahead of me. And it's all exciting. It's all good. It's all positive stuff that they're saying. And it's a matter of me now keeping this momentum going, keeping this flow going, and keep getting in that ring and leaving men on their ass.
Can you share with us what the grand plans were that you spoke about in the ring afterwards?
The grand plans are now, as it says, to stay busy, to stay active, to get a fight possibly on the East Coast of America, possibly my next fight on the East Coast of America now, Madison Square Garden or somewhere like that there. That would be the aim now, hopefully, for my next bout. And then to push on with a big fight in the summer and a possible massive fight at the end of the year with the likes of a Jimmy Munguia. I see now that Murata is probably going to get the Canelo fight. Different things like that there. Like, you just know the score as well. Boxing's such a crazy sport. It's 1 minute you're on top of the world, 1 minute you're down in the bottom of it. But you could get a world title shot tomorrow. You know, I'm sitting there now with a very impressive looking 18-1 record. I'm ranked in the WBC top 15 now, and coming off a good victory there, another one or two of those victories, you could be challenging for a world title at the end of the year. And these are the kind of conversations that have been going on with myself, Andy, Sheer Sports, and Golden Boy. And it's great now that everybody is on the same page. Like, everybody has had this talk, has had this meeting. We're all on the same page. We're all chasing the same goals now. And it's a matter now of putting it all together.
Jason, I'm sure Andy would be too humble to tell us about his qualities as a coach. How has he helped you, and how have you seen him grow as a coach, considering he's fairly new to it all?
Andy's just so cool, calm and collected as well, you know, and I think, like, I saw that this time around more so than the last fight. I think it was probably Andy's first time doing my corner, and well, it was his first time doing my corner, and it was me first time having him in the corner with me. And, you know, it was brilliant. Everything went well and it was good and I really enjoyed it. But this time I seen a more kind of a more relaxed approach, a more confident approach from Andy and everything in the corner. And it was just a lot more, I don't know the words to say it, just like the relationship just seems to be getting better and stronger. And like, Andy's only 35 years of age as well, like, you know what I mean? He's still in the same age bracket as myself. You know, it's not that long ago you see him testing out my gloves before I get them on. He's shadow boxing. You can see there's an edge back at him there as well. You can see him back at the ring. But no, like, the relationship's great. I think the age bracket there between us, we're both on the same level. We both know a lot about the game, and Andy's experience and everything like that there is just it's unbelievable. And you know, the way that he puts things across to me are so simple, are so easy to understand, and it's not 100 things thrown at you, do this, do that, do this. We have 2 or 3 small, simple little things to work on. We work on them, we make them happen. And I have to say, like, I see a massive, not say improvement or anything, but I see a massive jump in relationship gelling, even from my first fight to this fight. So it's only getting even better, and I'm absolutely delighted with the team up.
That's great. Doesn't sound like he's been distracted by this other matter, this other fight that he's been involved in over the last few weeks.
Not at all. You know, Andy's very easygoing. Nothing will really sway him. Andy has it all figured out, and he goes with the flow. He's easygoing, and that's what it's all about. We can't take nothing too serious, or we'd all be pulling our hair out.
Jason, congratulations. Well done last night. We'll be watching with interest over the rest of the year. You've been a gent to take the time so close after the fight to talk to us this morning, so thanks a million.
Top stuff, lads. Thanks for having
Thanks
me.
for
See you soon.
Cheers. Jason Quigley on the line there from California after that last night. Not scratching him, looking fresh as a daisy, happy as Larry. Life is good.
Life is exceptionally good for Jason Quigley at the moment, and it's a story that I think everybody's happy to see back on track and happy to see him talking about world titles again. It's when he's boxing with a smile on his face, it's definitely the best version of Jason Quigley you can get.